Hey, I'm Hana Suzuki. I play volleyball for East Hamilton, and this is the No Playbook podcast.
Hey, thanks for checking out the show. It's the podcast featuring the outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts from East Tennessee. Joining me in the show today, Hana Suzuki, standout volleyball player from Chattanooga. She's a rising senior, plays at East Hamilton High School, but travels to Knoxville to play her club volleyball for K2. Hana tells me about what she's looking for as she starts diving into the recruiting process for college volleyball. She shares something very few people know about her, and we talk about her favorite sports memories. This episode is sponsored by D1 Training. We've got a D1 in Chattanooga, and D1 is the place for the athlete. No matter your sport or fitness goals, D1 can help you reach your goals. Hana actually trains at the D1 in Blount County. That's a part of her K2 volleyball training. I'll get to Hana Suzuki right after this. Sit tight.
D1 is the place for the athlete. When you join the D1 team, you don't just go to a gym. You're part of a team, a family.
Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Something more than just a gym.
Here we go.
If you're looking for a place to get better, to improve, to strive for the goals that you have, then D1 might be the right place for you. Book your free one-on-one assessment today. Don't wait.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. D1.
Doing all right. What's going on today?
Nothing much. We have high school tryouts today, so yeah. That's
All
basically
right.
it.
Yeah. So in Chattanooga, we're recording this still mid-May. Are you still?
Today was our last day.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Fun way to spend your last afternoon.
Yep.
So what year are you in school?
I'm a junior, so I'll be a rising senior.
Okay, that's exciting. You
Mhm.
excited to be the big man on campus?
Yes, I am. It's a little it kind of feels weird because it doesn't really feel like it, but it's exciting.
Yeah. So are you playing volleyball right now outside of what you're doing to prepare for the high school?
I'm playing club right now at K2. And then we have a high school season coming up. So yeah.
So do you travel to Knoxville for that?
Yeah, I do. I drive to Knoxville.
So you've been able to see our Blount County D1.
I I work out at the D1 at K2, so we do that
Right.
twice a week. Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt Curley, he's the guy down there.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I work with all the D1s in East Tennessee.
Mhm.
Obviously, there in the Chattanooga area where you live, we've worked with
Yeah.
A5 in the past.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'd love to work with more of those athletes. But yeah, glad you're coming down working with Matt. We're excited to
Yeah.
be opening that D1 facility. So K2's been open, but that
Mhm.
uh, D1 training is going to open like in a couple of weeks.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what else uh are you doing like training wise? Are you doing anything in addition to kind of what you're playing for both K2 and East Hamilton, right?
Yes, yes. Um, I'm not doing too much. I mean, I am going to college camps and stuff like that and things like that, but it's kind of just like if I have the time and the opportunity, like getting into the gym on my own. Because my mom is like a coach, so like going into the gym and just kind of working with her and stuff like that on like things that I personally want to work on that I might not be able to during practice. But I mean, I have practiced 3 times a week and like workouts twice, so it's already like a lot of reps and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about the recruiting side of things? Have you started getting calls and emails, that kind of stuff?
hmm Yeah, so my recruiting process has been like going on for a while now. I feel like I'm like focusing on more like D3 schools because of the academic side of it. But I have had calls and like it's a lot of emails and texts and stuff like that, and like going on visits and things to like narrow down my list. But yeah.
Is there a specific thing that you're looking for, like at the next level? Is there like a deciding factor you think that's going to really tip the scales?
I don't really think that there's a deciding factor. I mean, obviously, I would say like the coaches really play a big part in it because I feel like through my process, I've been kind of been able to like figure out if I feel like I have like a connection with the coach or something like that. But I mean, I would say like it's just kind of like the program itself. Like I'm really looking at high academics, but really competitive volleyball at the same time. So it's just been kind of finding a school that like might be able to give me both, but I wouldn't really say that there's like one big deciding factor in that.
Yeah. Are you wanting to stay close to home?
Um, Not really. I'm looking to hopefully maybe go outside of Tennessee. My parents, like for us, location isn't really a big thing. It's just like a matter of the school itself. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now you said your mom is a coach. What does she
Mhm.
coach?
She coaches our high school team, and she did coach club. She's taking a break this year, but yeah, she coaches at East Hamilton.
That's great. Is it ever weird though, like the difference between mom and coach?
Yeah. I wouldn't really say it's weird. I feel like I've been so used to it because I've kind of like grown up with it. She coached me like my first 2 years of club as well. I wouldn't really say it's weird. I kind of think it's like a good thing because like you do have that connection with your coach and like you're not really scared to like ask questions or like tell her things and stuff like that. But it's I would definitely say it's different compared to like if you're just having like a coach that obviously isn't your parent. It's very different, but yeah.
That's fun. I've had a few stories like that, and those are always
Hmm.
uh those are always really interesting.
Yeah.
Um Now what is your aside from mom, do you have like a volleyball or any kind of sports idol or mentor?
Um, I would I don't really have I would say like a mentor, but I would say like my like I have like one like setting wise and one like libero wise. Like looking at like the pros and like those kinds of players, I would say Micah Christensen, he's the men's national setter. He's like amazing. He would be like my setting idol for sure. And then um there's I can't remember her name. Um, there's a libero that I believe plays for the Atlanta Pro team. She played at Stanford too, I think. She's like amazing. Like her, like defense and everything is just like crazy insane. But I would say like those would be my two idols for sure.
Yeah. It's always great to have somebody though that you can just kind of watch and
Yeah,
even if it's just appreciating how good they are.
yeah, yeah, and like
Uh,
kind of like watching their game and just like learning how they play is a lot. Yeah.
something to shoot for. Now, what
Mhm.
about beyond like Hannah, years in the future, beyond even college? Do you have goals of being a coach one day or continuing to play as long as you can?
I think I'm most likely like gonna end up coaching as well. I kind of like we do have a summer camp that we do with East Hamilton, so like I get to coach like younger kids and it's like a bunch of fun. I like would say I think I would enjoy coaching and stuff like that, so that might be in my future. Um, for like playing in the future, I'm not sure because like based on like my height and like skill level wise and stuff like that, like playing pro probably wouldn't be in my future. But I mean, like I would for sure say coaching would be.
Excellent. Well, I'm just thinking this, if coaching really is something in your
Mhm.
future, once you get through, you are in the college world and you get a lot of that experience, come on by D1 because we're always looking for talented coaches
Yeah.
and we've got folks that work with, all sports. So, it's always great to get more volleyball coaches in the
Hmm.
place. Um, so what about getting hyped before like a big game? Is there anything
Hmm.
specific that you do? Are you like a meditator or a loud music person?
Um, I think it honestly varies who I'm around because for club, I would say like I like to have a little bit of time to myself and just kind of like think in my own thoughts and prepare personally for the game. But for high school, it's very different. It's like a very loud environment. Like you have like your student section and stuff like that. And so like we kind of made the locker room like our own place. And so like playing loud music, like getting hype with your teammates is a bunch of fun, like just being able to like sing and dance to music with them and just kind of get ready in like a high energy kind of mood, that really helps. And it kind of like flows into the energy of the game as well, and so I really think that's fun.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I find interesting because the answers on that can vary so much. People are like, I listen to loud metal or rap. And I've had
Hmm.
other people like everybody knows Hendon Hooker, quarterback Tennessee Vols. He was like, I
Mhm.
listen to gospel music. Other people
Yeah.
say they meditate, and it's nuts what outstanding athletes will do before a game.
Yeah.
That wide range, I guess. Um, so talk a little about your experience with K2.
My experience with K2 has been really good this year. It's been very, I think, like difficult for me because of like the drive and the commitment. It's very different compared to when I was with A5 because like I had like a 30 to 15-minute drive from my home for those practices, and now it's like a 2-hour drive there and back. But I would say it's been a very positive experience. I feel like I've grown so much more as a player, and kind of like being outside of my comfort zone isn't really something that I've truly experienced as much as a player. So like being at K2 it kind of brought that to me, and like playing in different positions as well because I feel like I've been moved around a lot positions wise at K2, and it's been really good kind of seeing all the different aspects of the game as well. But I mean, I've enjoyed like meeting new teammates and like kind of playing with a different team as well. Um, I do miss like my teammates from A5, obviously, but like kind of playing with new players that I don't normally see on a daily basis. And also like getting different like coaching perspectives because a lot of the coaches at K2 haven't like seen me grow up as a player, and so they're kind of able to give me like different feedback and thoughts on my playing. So it's been really good so far.
That's great. I in high school I played high school soccer in one
Mhm.
town and travel club soccer in another town that was like half an hour
Mhm.
away.
Yeah.
And I loved that just because I felt like I had like two separate big groups of friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's like two
and
separate worlds.
and I'll tell you, you don't really think about this when you're in high school, but when you go off to college, like that really does come into play. Like you'll run into people and like there's times, especially if you did end up going to a bigger school when you're just desperate to
Mhm.
find some recognizable face
Yeah.
and having those connections around town or wherever East Tennessee, like that helps.
Yeah. It does for sure.
Can you share one or two of the schools that you have talked about specifically too?
Like recruiting wise,
Yeah.
um,
Or is it
it's
still on
a
the
little bit.
DL?
It's I would say like I'm like keeping that to myself. My recruiting process is more like something that me and my family are working on. It's not really something out in the open. But it's a lot of like high academic schools, very competitive still. Like a lot of them still go to the NCAA D3 tournament every year. But yeah, I think that's something that's more on the DL for me.
Okay. Now you've mentioned your academics a couple times, so I'm wondering, do you have something uh, even beyond the volleyball world in the academic world? Are you wanting to like go to law school, medical school, something like that?
I'm not sure what I want to do yet in college, which is also something that's been kind of like different for me in the process. So, like looking at liberal arts schools has been a really big thing for me. But I know I probably won't go to medical school because I don't really want to be a doctor. But other than that, I mean, I'm not really ruling anything out career wise. It's just kind of trying to figure out what I want to do in life. Yeah.
It's so tough for you to make that decision in the 12th grade,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it definitely is. And like you don't know if it's gonna change either because a bunch of people end up changing their careers anyways. So it's like kind of difficult deciding.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that everybody goes through, I'll tell you. Um,
Mhm.
so how about one thing that very few people know about you?
This would be a really hard question for me to answer. I think this is like very out of the blue, but I like this is a very random fact, but I really love musicals, and like it's like a really weird thing, but like me and my dad especially, we like whenever we travel, if there's like a musical in town or something like that, we really love to go. We enjoy like it's just like a different side. I feel like aside from like athletics, that's very different. It's like a very different kind of art and stuff like that. And last summer we even went whenever we were in London, me and my dad, we went and watched a musical. We watched Six, and it was really, really cool to see. But I feel like that's like a whole nother community as well. That's kind of like separate about me. But yeah.
Are you musical at all?
I did play a few instruments. I did have to quit playing due to volleyball because how much time it took, but I did play the piano and the clarinet. I can't sing at all. I can't sing, but like I played piano for a while, I'd say since like second grade, um, into middle school, and then I was in band as well.
And I'm just looking at your last name. Isn't there in piano a Suzuki method?
There's like, yeah, Suzuki's like involved in a lot of different things. I'm pretty sure there is a method, and they make like piano books and like a bunch of different instrument books as well.
Yeah, I've got a rising seventh grader that plays
Hmm.
piano, and I swear I've heard him talk about the Suzuki method
That's funny.
at
Yeah.
some point. Now, one thing everybody gets on the show, uh,
Mhm.
your last thing, share with me a great sports memory, unforgettable. It could either be as a spectator or as an athlete.
I would say a great sports memory would definitely be state. I would say our first year or my second year going to state, I think I was a freshman. We ended up playing in the state championship, and that was like a really, really big deal for us because our school, we have gone to state like multiple years in a row, but going to the championship itself was very different. And like playing in it as a like I think a freshman or sophomore was like a very huge experience for me, and I know a bunch of my teammates also felt the same as well. Um, and we did end up losing, I believe, in 4 or 5 sets, but I would say that was definitely one of my greatest sports memories. And then we ended up um, doing the same thing the year after, but yeah, that would be it for sure.
A lot of people talk about something like that, like a state tournament or whatever, but is there a
Hmm.
specific like play of yours that you feel like even when you're 60 years old, you're not gonna
Hmm.
forget this play?
Um, I don't know if I would say I have one personally from the state championship. I would say from the state tournament last year, um, I definitely had like a personal memory. I don't remember who we were playing, but I believe they had been in the state championship the year before, and we ended up moving divisions and moving up a division this past year, so that was very different for us. But we beat them in five, and I just remember, I think on that last point, um, I was playing libero and I'd gotten served a ball, and like service was such like a mental side of the game, and I had gotten the serve and I like passed a three ball, and I believe our setter Tristan ended up setting Georgia or our middle or someone, and they got a kill, and like that was probably one of the biggest moments of that year. And then that first year, whenever we made it to the state championship, I like have the exact memory replaying in my mind. There's like video of it too, and it's after we had beat this team to go end up going, I think it was either to the semifinals or finals, maybe not even the finals, but we had won that last point, and I was playing in the back row, and it was like a very long rally, and we ended up winning. And I just remember like running over to McKenna Hayes, one of our juniors or seniors at the time, like giving her the biggest hug ever. And it was just like the best moment, I feel like, for all of us. And like going that far into state, especially because the year before we hadn't done as well, I would say like that's always going to replay in my mind. But I think it's just like those moments with your teammates that like you're really like never going to forget.
You mentioned Georgia. Is that Georgia Dobson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She was on the podcast not long ago.
I love Georgia. She's like the best person ever. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much. And I will
Thank you.
correct when I've called you Hana, so it's Hana.
Yes. Sorry. I like meant to correct you before, but I forgot. But yeah.
No, it's okay. I went through a whole podcast calling a girl McCallie once, and at the end she's like, by the way, it's McKaylee. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah. It's okay. A lot of people mispronounce my name anyways, but yeah.
All right. Well, Hana Suzuki, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck this coming up season, and maybe I'll see you there at D1 Blunt.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Thanks a lot. All right. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.